Welcome back to my stream. Hey, we are on part 8, and we left off with me dying. I got too close to the rats, and poor Amicia was devoured, which means we continue with Armesia and Hugo and that big old brute Armand as they make their way across what appears to be a dock. I will blunder around and not in any way show you what to do, but rather what not to do. Oh, yes. Put on your life jacket and let's jump into the stream, fellow spuds. So my sound has cut out again. So let me tell you a short story about me. A true story about shame and embarrassment, and it all started long ago on a school day. It would become not a normal school day, but one that would shape into a horrible one, and it all happened because of the weekend before. I, with some friends, had gone to a stream. Yeah, a stream, like a creek bed. And we was splashing around, having fun. It was summer. And let's just say that I thought it was a great idea to leave my shoes on. And after a whole day, soaking up the creek's water, and then sinking my shoes deep in the mud, trampsing all around, by the time I got home that evening, my mother, seeing the state of my shoes, decided that they wasn't fit for wearing anymore. Now, unbeknownst to me, she threw them out. This was the day before. I was to go back to school. So here is where the problem is. That morning, I went to go looking for my shoes, to find the shoes were gone, and they wasn't in the house anymore. So here I was, standing, book bag across my shoulder, and my only pair of shoes were gone. They went to trash heaven, and so I told my parents. I was amazed. My mom threw them away. I was like, I can't go to school. I have no shoes. Or at least, can I skip a couple periods and we get me shoes? Yeah. My parents wasn't having that. They said, nah, you can find something else to wear. So the only thing we found was a pair of flip-flops, like basic flip-flops. And they were hot pink. And they were a few sizes too small. But they could fit on my foot. Now, my father had shoes, but me and him, they don't fit, and his foot is also a lot smaller. But unlike a flip-flop, I couldn't cram my foot into his shoes. So here I am, standing at the end of my driveway, waiting for the school bus, sporting my hot pink flip-flops. I don't know if they were my mom's or my sister's, but I've forgotten that part. There I stood when the bus came to pick me up. And here I am, wearing those hot pink flip-flops that don't fit on my foot. I was mocked. I was jeered. And it was the worst day ever. When I was a spud in school, it was a little bit different back then. When people jeered and picked on you, they were able to say a whole bunch of stuff without getting into trouble. I'm not going to say it's great now, but it's gotten a lot better. I hope it's gotten a lot better since when I was a kid. But that day just sticks out to me, and in truth, not really much more. I was picked on. They called me a couple names. Now, this part I don't remember. I think I was called the Flamingo for a little bit, and I think they called me Hot Pink. I only wore them the one day because it really wasn't the worst day ever. What happened is it had a good, happy ending. After I got home from school, first off, my teachers helped me. I was not supposed to wear those. So the teachers told my parents that I needed shoes. So that night, I don't know where we went, but I had me a nice new pair of tennies. And I went to school the next day with a hot looking pair of some nice shoes. So I only got to sport some hot pink flip-flops for one day. About 3 sizes too small. But this story is just one that I wanted to share because sometimes you can look back and you can say, man, this was a horrible day. I remember being so embarrassed. So the world is against you. Everything can go wrong. And, at the time it seemed like it was horrible. But now I look at it and I go, it's kind of fond. And I have some good cheer thinking about it. It was, just something that was just a parent fail. Like, I'm going to be honest, like, I don't know why my mom threw away my shoes. She clearly wasn't thinking, but I wasn't thinking either by, I guess, getting them ruined. But I still thought that they were worthy to be worn. But my mom had a big issue with odor, so it probably smelled horrible of creek and mud and who knows what. So to the trash it went. But yeah, hopefully my sound is about to work again. But other than that, I hope you enjoyed my story.
Oh, is this just discarded, or has somebody been sleeping? That can't be good posture. There's no way that's good. Ooh, yeah, recycle that. I mean, surely that's just been put over there. I don't know, though. It kind of looks like it's being used. Let's just say, if it wasn't for the fact that we already murdered the person that probably lived there, they probably, we put them out of their misery. I'm just going to say that. If they were sleeping every night in, like, that way, in that position with that, like that, so they went on to a better place. The place is so big. Now, in this situation, what monster sleeps at this kind of an angle to a wall? Like, that's such an odd angle. And I don't even know what that thing is. Is that like a rug? Or is that like a body pillow? You see rats? They're down there. But if I jump down, will they follow? Unsure.
Careful with the drop here.
Very well.
Maybe or not. Alright, I'm on. Now you're in my way. We gotta be coming to the end of the line here. Alright, maybe this is a checkpoint. Because that's a door. Oh yeah, it is a door. It's the door that's been in every checkpoint.
Looks safe.
Yes, it'll do.
It's there. Amicia, can we go
You know what
see
that
Jane
was?
House
That was
here?
her reacting to him talking
No,
again.
Hugo.
I can take him. Get some rest. It will be fine. We'll be just there.
Set
I
the
don't know
rats
if I
up
feel
with his
comfortable now
nice.
going to sleep.
Yes.
Don't be so happy when she says things like that.
Hey, there's the boat.
to run, and the Count doesn't need you along.
Hey. Oh, yeah. Hey, sir. There was something sticking out of your back.
Are you alright?
No,
She's better than him.
we just met, and I already owe you.
You don't
Cough
owe me
up.
anything.
$10.
You don't make the rules.
Fine, we can be
Okay,
friends if that
20
helps.
bucks.
Let's try. But you'll end up wanting to kill me too.
If I don't got that 40 bucks in my hand, then yeah.
Caught your breath yet? Ready to go?
I take debit, credit, money order, check, EBT. I mean, cash. I'll take it all. You put that $100 in my hand, and we can just put this whole you owe me money business out of the way. We don't have to talk about it again. But really, where's my money? Like, where's my money? Where's my money? Hey, where's my money?
Upgrade that. Okay, so I can do gear or alchemy. So alchemy, sewing a new pocket on my gear. Amicia can carry an additional alchemical ammo. I mean, I guess. I'll carry an additional jar. Now the jars I do find useful if I save the tool. I can get a larger quiver. I mean, can upgrade equipment anywhere without using a workbench. Look, if this game doesn't start handing out tools more frequently, this whole traveling, like, I barely get tools, and I could just be overlooking the tools. I'm not going to lie. There's a chance I'm not doing this game justice, and I've missed some of these things. That said, if I haven't, I don't know why I would need a traveling one. By the time I find a workbench, I barely have a tool anyway to upgrade stuff, so I'm not wasting it on that. So the real catch is, do I wait to get another tool so I can hold another crossbow bolt? I don't think I want to do anything. Yeah, I'd need to. It'd be more powerful. It just stuns them longer. I mean, I don't know how long I'll have Almond, but right now he's been killing people for me, so I don't even care about the stunning. I'm gonna regretfully or smartly, I'm gonna wait. So not doing anything. We're gonna wait till we get one more tool, and then we're gonna upgrade the crossbow carrying capacity.
This downpour makes me think of another story and another horrible day that I was able to overcome. You always think when things are happening that it won't get better, and this is just how life is. It sucks and you can't escape it. But that's not really true, always. We do find ourselves without anything we could have done differently in situations or days where you feel like everything is placed on your shoulders, and it just makes us want to crawl under the covers and go back to bed. There's been many times I've just wanted to skip the whole day altogether. And I have many stories of soul-crushing defeats. And yet, somehow, I have overcame them. Not by magic or wit, and definitely not by luck. But when you're in it, it's got no end in sight. But afterwards, I've noticed, you see that if you can keep your chin up and hold on, these bad days and these moments will pass. And with time, a lot of my worst days have turned into, I would say, very silly days, and not even close to a bad day. And for the ones that do, and deserve to be remembered as bad. It doesn't have to ruin us, but I would say rather we should hold on to those moments and draw on them to give us insight towards bigger goals. And I would have to say some that I hold close are compassion, understanding, and contentedness. You know, we have such big days and we find ourselves dashing about all the time. We get in our lane of traffic, where it's all about where's our attention going, what's getting our attention first, what's getting it last, and all that stuff in between. And sometimes we just have to remember that this life, shouldn't be about just happiness, but rather, I think it's about purpose and responsibility. At least those are my feelings. And so, with that in mind, my story that I wanted to tell you. So, long ago-ish for me, I was going to college for computer science. That didn't work out, but I was living on site, and I was too poor for a car, so I was kind of landlocked to my location. My roommate was not ideal, and we didn't really get along, and while I have plenty of stories about him, I will leave that alone for now and say that he didn't really help me get around. He did have a car, but he did not really let me get rides from him. So I was a foot walker for each and every one of my days. And like I said, I was poor, so I didn't get to just go to class and then have time to myself after doing my schoolwork and that. I had to go to work. And I didn't have a car, so I had to walk. So I had to find a place to work at, which was a site that served food around, the college area. And I was a short order cook. It was a fast-paced job. It got super busy when all the other college people would come in and eat and relax with their friends. And of course, I would be stuck there serving them dinner. But that was how it is, and that's how I did it. And so, where my story starts, or at least I've been talking a long time, so clearly my story started, is this makes me think of this downpour that poor Amicia is dealing with right now. So I had gotten off of work, and it was basically almost dark outside, and I had made myself some food to go, like I usually did, because the place closed up and we'd have to leave when our shift was over. And so here I go with food in my hands outside, and I discover that the wind's picking up bad, and it looks like it's going to rain. So I start booking it, and I made it maybe 35 steps when the sky opened up and rain started pouring. And I looked for anyone to help. And yeah, no one was in sight to give me a ride. So I had to start half sprinting, and it was a long walk to my dorm, and it required many sets of also stairs, because the whole damn place was kind of built on top of hills, and not one thing was on the same level. So stairs, and lots of hustling. I found the place very, there was so many hills everywhere. But before I get distracted, I'm booking it, and there was this like enclosed area that was a building, but it kind of was just like an entryway. It had two sets of doors on this like set of stairs, and then there was another set of doors that led into the building, but there was just this like weird antechamber where you could just like hole out in. And so I ended up holing out there, and I waited 5, 10, 15, 20 minutes, and the rain was not stopping. And, I was thinking, now that, I didn't even think about even eating my food then, but surely my food was going to be cold when I got home that night. And I finally decide to leave. After 20 minutes of waiting, I'm like, I don't want to wait any longer. So I'm like, I'm just going to have to sprint my way home. So I made it almost all the way back. But as I was running, across this like pavement, I noticed that there was a part of water, but what I didn't know was there was some mud hiding underneath that water. And so as I was sprinting past, next thing I know, I'm sprawled on the ground, covered in mud. I remember having my package in my hand with my food, and now it's gone. I get up, and I see my food had been chucked up in the air and like at an arc 10 feet away, but it had landed perfectly upright, intact on one of the steps to the next rise that I needed to ascend. So I walked over to it, grabbed up my dinner, and I'm just completely soaked. I'm soaked to the bone, and I'm just covered in mud now. My one shoe is super squishy, and now I'm afraid if I keep running, I'm going to fall again, because now I feel like my whole body is just slick as snot now. And so I tentatively make it back to the dorm without really running. I was almost there, but I make it back. And of course, when I get back to my dorm, there's a whole bunch of people in this like semi building before you get to your actual like area. And so I was seeing people that I never see, people that I semi see, and everyone's just staring at me, covered in mud. A couple people, several people, out of concern, was like, "Hey, are you okay? Is everything fine?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm fine. I slipped. I'm fine now." And so I remember hitting the elevator button, getting in, and I just remember covered in mud. I just felt so embarrassed. I felt like it was the worst day ever. And I just remember being so upset when I got back to the top. And it just was a day. And the best part, the silver lining, is I did have to warm it up in the microwave, but my food, once I looked at it, after I'd cleaned myself up and all that, my food had been unharmed. It definitely didn't look like it was perfect, but nothing was complete. Like, it was still there, like completely undisturbed. So I luckily did not destroy my dinner that I was going to have that night. So that was the only bit of joy I had at the time. But, it did teach me. And any day that I thought there would be rain, I begged, borrowed, and sweet talked my way. I never dealt with this ever again. This is why I think it's so near and dear to me now, because it was just a learning curve. I really didn't even think at the time. I made sure I always had a ride every day after that there could have been rain. And I never had something like that happen. I'd never come back in such a state as that first day. But, like I said, I even telling the story, and I don't feel too bad for me then, because I want you to know, telling you the story, it's funny to me. Not in the sense that it was a horrible day, but funny in the sense of just like life, of how you go through these moments sometimes, and it's all just a learning curve. And I just find it to be heartwarming now. I just look at it and I go, man, that was such a bad day. But it wasn't a bad day. It just was a rough day. And rough days happen. It doesn't mean you have to define them. And I find that if you give them enough time, even a struggling day, you can look back on it and it could be a good memory, while at the time it wasn't. That's just all about perspective, But yeah, that's my story that I got to thinking about because of this darn downpour. So.
Amicia, quick! Amicia, listen!
Oh, little Hugo.
Woohoo! I'm a pirate!
Pirate that's got the black spot
Are you
of
good,
death.
sailor? And you all have a death wish in this family, or what? It's all right. I've got you.
Come on, Armand. What does it matter? He's already dying.